Well, good morning. We are here with Dan and Ronnie Welsh, and they have an amazing story because of the journey they've been on the last 10 months.
10 months, a little over.
And so they've been in the community here at Canyon View for the past 10 years, probably,
Certainly.
and good friends of ours. And so, Dan, tell them what happened 10 months ago that totally changed your life.
Okay, on Thursday, June 22nd, I went to the VA for just a routine annual physical and, gave blood tests. And the VA called me back Friday morning and said, could you come in for additional blood tests? And I said, yeah, sure. So I did that. And then Monday morning, I got a call from Grand Valley Oncology asking me if I could come in for a consult. And I said, yeah, sure, I can do that. And so they informed me at that time that I had leukemia and that could I go to community hospital for a bone marrow biopsy. And then when they got the results, maybe be prepared to go to Huntsman Cancer Hospital in Salt Lake City for 30 days. And so did the bone marrow biopsy, went back on Tuesday morning, determined that I had what they call biphenotypic acute leukemia with the Philadelphia chromosome, which is a really rare form of leukemia. And so they wanted me to be in Salt Lake City by 5 o'clock that day. And so and this was probably 9:30, 10 o'clock at this point, we went home, packed up the car and took off for Salt Lake City that day. The doctors met us there at 5 o'clock, went through 30 vials of blood and tests, and gosh, it was just a wild and crazy day. And then that night put me on chemotherapy and through IV drip and fluids. And so, we were just actually, kind of terrified at that point. And we kind of reached out in prayer that night. Ronnie's nephew is a pastor of a church in Iowa, and they were praying for us. Her aunt in Seattle went and burnt candles for us. She's a devout Catholic and had the church in Seattle praying for us. Our neighbor is a retired Seventh-day Adventist pastor, and he had their entire church pray for us as well.
Kirk and Jane.
And then friends in Florida, part of our adoption group, Catholics as well, had their church praying for us. And then, of course, Canyon View, we were on their list. And then Kirk and Jane actually came over and visited us in Salt Lake City and prayed over us. And so that first night in the hospital, about 2 o'clock in the morning, I was just laying there, and all of a sudden, I just feel this warmth on my arm where all my IVs were, and just got this assurance, almost verbally, that everything would be okay.
Well, Ronnie, you went through
a
roller coaster emotionally, and so tell everybody what prayer did for you as you went through all those ups and downs.
Yeah, it was altogether different than it was for Dan. Dan had a really special moment with Jesus, and he felt a really peace for then on. For me, it was a roller coaster, up and down, up and down. There were times I could barely get my next breath, and it's been a very difficult journey for sure. But there's no question that when I would reach out for prayer, that it just showed up. I could sleep through the night. I could not wake up and be in complete fear and worry. That I could function at work. That I could just sometimes just let go of the fear. Sometimes just let go of all of the worry of what ifs and what is tomorrow going to bring. And it came and it went with me. But I always reached out, and it always came. He always showed up. but there, like Dan said, for me, I knew it was prayer because I was reaching out to so many people.
Yeah. It
And
was
that
the
is
prayers
like-
of people outside yourself.
Absolutely.
That
Oh,
carried you through
absolutely.
those times.
Yeah.
That's what I think the feeling came from, was just all the people
Yeah.
praying.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah, so I would reach out because I almost, there were times, I hate to admit it, that I was just so afraid I couldn't even pray for myself. And all I could do was pray for Dan, and that's all I prayed for, and my daughter. But all the power of prayer from all the people around us, surrounding us, is what kept the roller coaster going up and not taking me down.
And it's important that we clarify that because of your diagnosis, a very rare and a very aggressive form of leukemia, the prognosis was not good.
No, I had probably a 3% chance of remission, of going into remission, and at the end, I spent all of July at Huntsman. At the end of that 30 days, I was in full remission.
And I gotta say, because I know you guys so well, this challenged you of you can tend to be a little more private.
No, absolutely.
And so to actually ask others to pray for you in a moment of vulnerability, this has been really life-changing for you in community.
Yeah.
Certainly. And drawn us closer together as a couple as well.
It has been life-changing in community.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't do it
By yourself. Yeah. And that's so important for all of our friends at Canyon View to know that we need each other.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And let's hope we don't wait till a crisis like this to help us to understand that.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Absolutely.
And we're so glad you're here, bro.
Yeah.